Welcome everyone. This is September 23rd, 2020. This is the Board of Commissioners, Clatsop County Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners meeting at 6 o'clock. It is 6:01. The Board of Commissioners as a governing body of Clatsop County, all county service districts for which this body so acts, and as a Clatsop County Local Contract Review Board is now in regular session. County Clerk of the Board, may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Webb? Commissioner Quila?
Here.
Commissioner Nebaker?
Here.
Commissioner Sullivan?
Here. Okay, so we have, everyone is here. We have a quorum. Let's go now to, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Commissioner Thompson, to approve the agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Nebaker, okay, so we have a motion to approve and second it. And anyone against that, please say nay. Hearing no nays, it has been approved. So let's go on now to the proclamation. It's the proclamation for the chart's 10-year anniversary. And who is going to give us the staff report on that?
Julia, are you going to give the staff report?
I will, thank you. I brought a statement to read. Is that the staff report? Or is it the summary?
I think that would be okay, yes.
Sure,
The statement?
Okay.
So first of all, I want to thank you for recognizing CHART, the Community Health Advocacy Resource Team, and its unique and relevant role in our community. Personally, I am new to Clatsop County in Oregon, arriving here 3.5 years ago. Relocating can be challenging both personally and professionally, especially for someone like me who values and thrives on community collaboration and networking. I was relieved when I got here to find CHART in full swing and to connect with people who were closely or loosely related to my field in health promotion. I was also really impressed with how well CHART meetings functioned and were facilitated by my co-chair, Stephen Blakesley. We all know how some meetings can feel like a waste of time and energy, and I can honestly say that I have never felt my time wasted in a CHART meeting. The proclamation that you will be reading will outline some of CHART's accomplishments in the last 10 years. I would like to add that being in existence and staying relevant after 10 years is an accomplishment in and of itself. As CHART moves forward into its second decade, we are increasing our capacity and knowledge base to incorporate issues of health equity and racial justice into our forums. The sad convergence of these two issues recently have driven home the facts that we as a society cannot achieve a healthy population without addressing these two factors. I also want to acknowledge here Commissioner Pam Webb's support and attendance at our meetings, and invite the rest of you to participate and come to our meetings sometimes. That way we can mutually add to each other's knowledge of what's going on in our county and increase our ability to collaborate to make a healthier community for all of us. CHART meets monthly, the second Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10:30 in the mornings via Zoom, and we're looking forward to gathering at our regular meeting location in the beautiful Fort Clatsop Nuttall Room when the pandemic's over. So thank you so much for your support of this, and thank you, Stephen, my co-chair.
Thank you, Julia. I see Stephen Blakesley and also Jill Quackenbush on the call. Would you like to say howdy since you're here and you're involved with all this hard work that CHART has done?
Howdy. Yeah, you know, I just a little reminiscing when we started CHART 10 years ago. There were 22 counties working under the same program, and of those 22, Clatsop is the only county remaining with a CHART, and CHART has excelled the entire time. And we've had support all along the way from the Public Health Department and the Board of County Commissioners, as well as our community partners. And that's what's really made all the difference. And as we face these really challenging times of health, they were challenging before this last year, but it's being able to collaborate and work together to come up with new and kind of inspiring solutions to get the whole community involved that continue to make a difference. So your continued support in CHART and with public health department supporting CHART is greatly appreciated. And I guess lastly now, you know, because I work for OHSU and OHSU completely supports my time working on CHART, you have leading health universities that recognize the value in this and also want to support it. So that says a lot as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Jill, did you want to add anything?
I really don't have much to add. I did want to recognize to be looking in the Daily Astorian, one of our longtime CHART members, Allison Weisenhunt, who has participated in CHART with her role both at Providence Hospital and now at Columbia Memorial Hospital, wrote a really nice letter to the editor that she shared with us that she was submitting, just recognizing how important CHART was for her, both professionally as well as personally as well. So be looking for that.
Thank you very much, Jill. Yeah, the one meeting I did attend, I was very impressed, and I believe I know Allison through the Northwest Senior Disability Services that I've done. So any other comments from the commissioners before we read the proclamation? All right, I just really wanted to thank the folks on the call and also all the other people that are connected with this program. It's really something, and thank you very much. So
Thank you.
I will read the proclamation. And if we had a real live meeting, we could have a picture and all of that, but unfortunately we don't have that. Whereas the community health, in the matter of proclaiming the 10th anniversary of the creation of the Community Health Advocacy and Resource Team CHART. Whereas the Community Health Advocacy and Resource Team CHART was created on August 2010 as the Clatsop County Department of Public Health response to the state of Oregon's Healthy Communities Initiative. And whereas CHART's mission is to work collaboratively with community members to impact policy systems and the environmental change to raise the overall health of Clatsop County residents. And whereas CHART provides an opportunity for a diverse membership to break down silos by networking, collaborating, and improving efficiencies. And whereas CHART acts as an incubator for projects such as the Nutrition Consortium, the Extraordinary Living Conference, Place Matters, Clatsop County, Way to Wellville, I Will Walk 2,000 Miles, Walking Challenge, RX to Play, Worksite Wellness Programs, Seaside Gardening Project, and the Healed Cities campaign. And whereas CHART's role in Clatsop County has been recognized and supported with leveraged funding by the Oregon Health and Science University as a leader in health collaboratives and research support. And whereas CHART has been a forum of several health-related policy initiatives, including the strongest tobacco retail license ordinance in Oregon and the Clatsop Community College gold standard tobacco-free campus policy. And whereas CHART shows nimbleness and flexibility in responding to emerging situations such as the Corona-19 pandemic, Rapid Response Task Force, and is currently coordinating networking between emerging health equity groups. And whereas CHART is building capacity for understanding and incorporating crucial data, the health impact pyramid, and addressing to the social determinants of health, including health equity and social justice. And whereas CHART for 10 years has continued to sustain community collaborations and networking opportunities every month. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Clatsop County do hereby recognize the important role that CHART has in raising the level of health in Clatsop County and to observe their 10th anniversary, August 2020. And this is dated today on the 23rd. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Madam Chair,
Do we need to approve that, that motion, that order? It looks, when I look at my board packet, it says the board, that the recommended action is to approve the chart 10-year proclamation authorizing the Board of Commissioners chair to sign as set forth. So that looks to me like we want to have somebody make the motion to,
Well, later in the day, I was told by Joanna and the county manager that that would not be necessary, but
okay.
we can, that's correct, right, Joanna?
That is
So,
correct.
I can ask if there's any nays on this one. Not seeing any. I think we have all yays. So, okay, thank you very much. And thank you all for coming and the work that you do. Okay, so now we will move to the business from the public. This is an opportunity for anyone to give a 2-minute presentation about any item on the agenda except public hearings or any topic of county concern that is not on the agenda. Clerk of the board, are there any written comments that were sent in from the public?
Nothing written this evening.
Clerk of the board, are there any members of the public who have registered to speak?
Yes.
Okay, if you have registered to speak, please wait until your name is called, then give your name and address for the record. You have 2 minutes to speak, and the county clerk will be controlling this. Thank you.
Kathy Klesdek.
Good evening, commissioners and staff, county manager. I'm popping in to make sure that you know all about the Get There Oregon Challenge that will be starting the 5th of October. I'm hoping you got the written material that went along with this so that you can see the visuals, or we'll get them later. Every year, ODOT sponsors a challenge, and it is called Get There. And it is to motivate people to try an alternative mode of transportation other than driving in a car by themselves. This year, the challenge has changed quite a bit and involves not necessarily tracking miles that you commuted without using your car by yourself, but involves skills and achievements that you can make from working from home or other means. You can still log miles, but there's other ways that you can qualify for winning prizes. And really the end goal is to motivate people to try something new and not drive in their car by themselves. Try riding the bus, try riding their bike, go for a walk, anything and everything other than driving your car by yourself, so that we can get new habits developed and work on relieving some of the congestion on our roads by forming some new habits, forming some new friendships, carpools, things like that. And the part of the reason why I want you to know about this is because it's not just for individuals. This program will work best if we can work with employers. So municipalities and private sector employers, if we can get some employers on board to start some carpool, vanpool, or biking, walking combination programs, then this will work best and we will see some relief of congestion on our roads.
Okay, thank you. Alan Berry.
Yes, hello, commissioners. I'm at 1420 North Wing Court, Hammond, Oregon. First one goes out to Mark. I'm sorry to tell you, my truck is broke down. I did not park it there. I apologize for that. Just letting you know. Number two, I'm the one with the wood pile problem. I sell the wood because I'm on Social Security disability. I helping out, actually, the person selling the wood brings the wood to me. He's helping me out. I get it for my medication. It's nothing I want to do. It's something I have to do. Due to the fact of battles of war, I cannot wear a mask or a face shield. This is the way I get my medication. If y'all don't understand it, I understand. Y'all don't have the problem I do. And I don't hold it against y'all for feeling the way y'all do about having this moratorium going on and everything. I understand everybody's got to be created equal. but I got to make money where I can. My wife's on Social Security Administration. I'm on Social Security Disability. We do what we can to survive. We own our home. We are lucky we pay cash for it. But we ain't got the money that most people have, and we don't have the income of going out to go to work. We don't have that pleasure. And I'm sorry y'all don't understand that. And if you're going to hold that against me, I have the furthest fire lot off the road. I give 30 feet. I give 30 feet for the firemen. Nobody else has that. Everybody's right up next to the road. And they come and they hound me because I'm doing something wrong. I give more to the county on my wood pile than anybody else does. And they want to hound me because it's displeasing to my neighbor. It's not sightful, is what the excuse was. When I got my permit, all of the firewood cutting was stopped. All of the loud noise was stopped. Before I got the permit, yeah, the guy who was doing the firewood was making noise, did have the wood splitter out there, but I stopped it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Berry, for your
Thank you for
testimony.
your time.
Thank you. That's all the testimony, Commissioner Sullivan?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for each person that called in. Okay, we are now down to the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Commissioner Nebeker? Okay, second?
Commissioner Thompson seconds.
All right, are there any nays? Hearing no nays, the consent calendar has been approved. Let's now go to the commissioner liaison reports. Commissioner Nebeker, you get to go first.
Thank you. I attended the virtual meeting, of course, for the Arts Council of Clatsop County. There's 3 vacancies on this council, so if you would spread the word to people that you think might be interested. Of course, it's also on the county website, the applications. The Performing Arts Center has been getting some repairs and plans for having virtual music performances. It's amazing how people are adapting to the only avenues we have, which seems to be virtual, but they're adapting. There's national conversations via Zoom about regarding safety for performing arts and teaching of the arts and filming and shooting of performances. Shakespeare in the Park Theater was done virtually from the Coaster Theater last weekend. I didn't see it, but I'm going to look for more performances from them that are virtual. Architects in the Schools with Stuart Emmons volunteering, and other volunteers for the arts in the schools may take place virtually since it was interrupted in March. There's lighting education for performance venues that could be taking place at the back. Let's see. Well, people are finding ways to connect through the arts to not only benefit their businesses, but also to bring community together. And that's so important for our health and well-being. There's been some dance classes held outdoors. And I've heard from people that they have, it's really helped them cope during this time of isolation in this very creative way. And of course, movement is very good for us. Some galleries have come together also to have virtual offerings. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Nebeker. Commissioner Webb.
May I repeat about the virtual timber tour?
You may so repeat.
I hope that each of my fellow commissioners has received your invitation to the tour. It's being done virtually this year, And I think that you will really appreciate the creativity that went into the presentation of this. You know, the part of the intention of the forestry tour every year is to highlight jobs in the timber industry and to talk about new technological advances and to see on the ground what our forestry businesses really are all about. One of the really cool things this year is that we're going to have a virtual tour that we're going to be able to take to the high schools, and we're very excited about that. We've been talking for a couple of years now about wanting to include young people on the forestry tour, and we've never been able to kind of pull that off, but it looks like now we're going to be able to take the forestry tour to them. And I think that's you know, I've been saying for years, I wish that every high school student in Clatsop County could go to Hampton Mill and could go to the forest and to see what this industry really looks like here. So I encourage you to go. I'm sorry that lunch will not be served. It's the thing that I miss most about virtual meetings, but come in, and I'd love your feedback, because this is a kind of a new, very cool thing to be doing. And shout out to OSU Extension. OSU has really geared up to do videos and webinars and presentations, and and their equipment was used for almost all of the presentations. So thank you to them as always. Also, new thing to report. Wiley Thompson was at the AOC meeting that Commissioner Thompson shared. And once more, I backed him into a corner and demanded to know when they were going to hire a small farms agent. And he promises me that it's in process. And then after the meeting, I got an invitation to attend some of the interviews. So we're finally gonna get that small farms guy. So that's it. All good news. Can I also, for the good of the order?
When it rains, look for rainbows. Yay.
Okay. I have a t-shirt now for every day of the month. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Webb. Commissioner Thompson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, the CPO, the voting members decided to go forward devoting their money to housing. And so that's an important commitment on the part of our community health partners. So we're grateful for that, I think. As part of the strategic planning process, I'm looking at infrastructure. I'm looking at housing, childcare, and broadband, and doing that with community partners and the capable, supportive staff. Teresa has scheduled about 1 billion meetings, and Don and Monica have attended 1,000,000,001. So thanks to staff's hard work for supporting us as we move forward as a county board of commissioners, to be thoughtful, to be comprehensive, and to be strategic. It's watershed moment. It's a happy dance. I'm doing the seated version of the happy dance right now. Thank you, staff. Cedar, Commissioner Aquila represents the county at Cedar. I love attending the meetings and hearing what everybody has to say. I like that we have 2 commissioners attending. I think it indicates the respect and the commitment that Clatsop County Board of Commissioners has to economic development within the county. So I'll let Commissioner Aquila do the rest of the reporting on that. As Commissioner Webb mentioned, I have the honor of serving as the District 7 chair for this year and next year. We had our annual meeting on, Lordy, it was Monday. We were the first, we're like the beta version for AOC. Because of the wildfires, everybody else got pushed back, so they got to experiment on us. And it's a good meeting, because what it does is bring together our regional partners to help us collaborate on issues of concern. You'll remember that AOC not only has various policy committees, AOC lobbies for counties' interests at the state legislature, and it speaks with a strong voice because it represents more than one county. On the other hand, I'm delighted to hear from the county manager that we're looking into having our own lobbyists, because I think that's the most effective way to go, that we operate collaboratively when possible, and that we operate specifically when that kind of laser focus is required. So if anyone has questions about the AOC District 7 meeting, I'm happy to answer that. We talked about the AOC budget today in AOC membership committee meeting before my power went off and I lost connection because I live in South County. But I touched base afterward, and staff is looking at a dues increase that they're trying to keep proportionate to what counties already pay. Well, here's the deal. Stuff costs more money. So how do we deal with it? And the reason to look at a dues increase is because, number one, if we don't, the organization goes in the hole. And number two, if we don't have an effective, and there isn't money to go in the hole, just saying. And number two, if we don't, then the state keeps more money that we don't get. So we are harmed, actively harmed, if we don't have a statewide organization speaking for us. And the CARES money is just an example of that. I'll try not to get all worked up about that. There were a few articles in the paper, the Oregonian, about fire testing our metal. I'll say that is absolutely true. Our community's firefighters were tested, the foresters were tested, every single person who was here was tested either by fire or smoke or both. So we've got to get a handle on this. There's an article about how being kind pays off. Thank you for the kindness that the chair shows every meeting. Commissioner Sullivan, I appreciate you for that. It's a big deal. There was an article about Yume Wong, who is the state engineer who's been dealing with earthquake hazard issues for generation. She's still at OHSU, and we're looking at keeping our partnerships up with them. We have Yume Wong, we have Stephen Blakesley, Bob Dumig, who's in charge of rural health for OHSU and also chair of the community college board, is going to join our broadband committee so that we have that broadened liaison and partnership, as is Lindsay Davis from OSU Extension. So we're looking at having a really robust community conversation. The last newspaper thing I'll put to you is the Astorian from last Saturday. The headline reads, in very large print, daycare is essential. So we've had a meeting today to talk about two members of our child care committee going forward, our strategic planning committee going forward, to speak with the editors of the Astorian about the perception of barriers, the reality of barriers, and all of the work that's been done to generate community partnerships. So they're doing that tomorrow. So there'll be more going forward. Commissioner Quila and I spoke about the dovetailing that occurs between his economic development focus group and the childcare and the broadband and the affordable housing. It all fits together. All of our work all fits together, but particularly those. So Commissioner Quila, I think, is going to be joining us on some of those committees. So we'll have a concerted, what do you call it, coordinated muscle movement. Is that the phrase, County Manager? I believe I've heard that on many occasions coming from your mouth. It's a good model, and we're looking to emulate it. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the community action team, because they're dealing with housing, they're dealing with child care in the sense of Head Start. So they're our partners, and we're present on that board as well. In case somebody's curious about that, I wanted to raise that awareness issue. I didn't fill out my public works survey, you guys. So my numbers on this one, I'm not going to send it in. I'm just going to listen to what other people have to say. And the final thing I want to talk about is how my heart is touched when I hear a community member come and talk to us about what his life is like and what he's doing to be able to continue to live in this beautiful place, and how his service has compromised his well-being going forward. So as we look to temper justice with compassion and public health and well-being with how do we help people meet their needs, I think it's so important to listen to what community members had to say. So I was glad Mr. Berry came to talk to us tonight. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Aquila?
Yeah, I do want to echo that, and I also want to thank Commissioner Thompson for her leadership with AOC that I think is so important. It's such a benefit to us to have her in that role as a leader and promoting our interests. And I think, as she mentioned, having a lobbyist on our behalf is going to only double that. And I'm very pleased with the direction we're going. As Commissioner Thompson was mentioning, I was at the CEDAR meeting yesterday, or virtually at the CEDAR meeting yesterday. And we did talk a lot about what the recovery efforts of CEDAR and SBDC have already been. I think we've talked about that as a group many times, but it really is impressive. There's an article in the paper. I believe it's either online now and will be, out tomorrow, or it's already out, but it kind of highlights what Kevin Leahy and CEDAR has done. They've got $240,000 of awards to 73 businesses in the area. All of those businesses having fewer than 25 employees. That's a massive impact. There's more money available, but there are restrictions upon that. If you've already taken federal money, then you're no longer eligible to receive what's in this, I guess, pot of money. But they're trying to work with the state to loosen some of those restrictions. But there's been a lot going on, and I was able to give a progress report on our efforts with the strategic plan and the focus group on economic development. There is a great deal of crossover and interwovenness between Commissioner Thompson and what I'm doing with economic development and she's doing with infrastructure. And certainly you need to have all of that infrastructure in place in order to be able to have the environment conducive for economic activity. So we will be working together on these efforts. But I'm just real pleased with the people that are involved in the economic development group. Great ideas. Heard from Business Oregon that there will be some community block grants available. And we did have an opportunity to kind of welcome other input as well. But this, as Commissioner Webb, the Forestry Leaders Tour on October 7th, I think she highlighted it very well. I've done it a couple times, and it's going to be nice not to have to ride on a bus for an hour and a half in order to get, you're going to be able to be there virtually. I like that. There's a real advantage to having this conducted in this way, but I would encourage people to join that. It's certainly worthwhile. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Aquila. Okay, I wrote out my comments today, so I'll just start. I'd like to, I know that we all continue to send our thoughts to everyone affected by these fires and by COVID, and we certainly appreciate all the folks that are on the front lines of this. But I would like to take a minute to thank all the government officials, from the governor on down, along with the community and business leaders that continue day and night working to keep us safe. We are in times that government must take the lead. And I think we can thank the years of study, of training, and the experience that gives us such courageous and hardworking leaders. During the worst of times, we are seeing some of the best in people. And I think that we cannot underestimate the trauma that our communities are experiencing. And my wish for everyone is that we will practice compassion and forgiveness and offer strength when we have it and accept help when we need it. These rains are a blessing, and today we have had a better report on the fires. Some are contained enough to be turned over to local districts, and the larger fires will be with us longer. But Oregon has been receiving help from around the country and Canada. If you didn't get a chance to look at the press release today, the press conference, you can go to the governor's webpage. They're all on YouTube, and they're just very informative. Okay, so to get back to our commission reports, I serve on the Northwest Senior and Disability Services. This agency serves Clatsop, Tillamook, Yamhill, Polk, and Marion County, but they also work with Lincoln County partners. The Northwest Senior Disability Services staff have reached out to consumers in all areas that were under the level 2 and level 3 evacuations. And if they couldn't be reached, they kept trying for their emergency contacts. They're documenting where the evacuees went, how many went. They're updating contact information. They're addressing immediate needs such as care, shelter, food, medical equipment, and medication. Think about how disorienting it would be if you were in the prime of life and fully able-bodied, how confusing and terrifying these times would be. And then think about people that are not there. And I just think that Northwest Senior Disability Services and their staff have done terrific work, along with all the other folks that are helping. In Tillamook County, they work with 67 consumers and 26 evacuees. And Yamhill County, there was 980 consumers, and these were in Newburgh and the Gaston area. Only 2 had to be evacuated. In Marion County, there were 1,500 consumers at a level 2 or level 3. There are 8 adult foster care and 3 community-based that were involved with the Beachy Creek and Sandium fires. So I would like to give Teresa the email that I have that has more details about that to get that in the notes. And then I want to talk about the Forest Trust Lands Advisory Committee, which is basically this, recently it's more about the Habitat Conservation Plan. And on September 16th, the Oregon Department of Forestry held another public meeting on the Habitat Conservation Plan. And there was good attendance. I believe Commissioner Thompson and Commissioner Webb and Commissioner-elect Bangs was also on the call. And we've been following this process for almost 2 years now. And I personally would like to see the process continue. It is at least a year or 2 away from completion. On October 6th, if the meeting is held as scheduled, it is expected that the Board of Forestry will make a decision on whether or not to continue exploring this option of a habitat conservation plan. The information on this whole process is on the Oregon Department of Forestry website, and public comments are encouraged and it to be submitted by October 2nd. You may submit, they have a form that you have to click on, but you can submit them on the website. I imagine you can also send emails, I'm not sure. Chair Yamamoto has canceled the Forest Trust Land Advisory Committee that had originally been scheduled some time ago for this Friday, but on October 2nd, we will have a Council of Forest Trust Lands meeting. So the difference is the advisory meeting has the representatives from all 15 counties. The Council of Forest Trust Land meetings invites all of the commissioners in the Forest Trust Land, and then they usually have an agenda, but we don't have the agenda yet, but I'm sure that'll be coming. And I would like to say thank you to you, Commissioner Thompson, Commissioner Thompson for her leadership on the AOC District 7 meeting. It was very informative. They were excellent presenters, and it was well attended. And then on Monday, September 14th, the jail commander, Lieutenant T, gave me a tour of the Clatsop County Jail, and I was impressed by how much the staff is doing, especially during these times of COVID. And I was able to see that, I got to go up and see the exercise area this time, and I was glad to hear that the prisoners do have access to television and music is available. They're doing a lot with, well, they're looking forward to to the new jail. Let's put it that way. And they have, as you know, it's been on the news a lot lately, that jails and prisons deal a lot with folks in mental health crisis at the same time with other things. So it's a tough job, and I really appreciate how caring our staff is in the work that they do. There is a Business Oregon is having a Oregon Brownfields and Infrastructure Summit. And I will forward this email to you all. And if more than one of you would like to go, I think that we can probably work that out. It's the state's largest and most comprehensive brownfields and infrastructure event with an exclamation point. So they're very excited about this, and I'll pass that along to you. And then finally, for my report, I wanted to make notice that on Congresswoman Bonamici's website, this week are introducing a National Estuaries Week resolution. And this is across the country, across all the political parties, just recognizing how important estuaries are. And as you know, we live in an estuary. So I just want to read the last, and I will give this to Teresa also to get in the public record, but I would like to just read the resolved part of this, if I may. The House of Representatives, one, expresses the support for the designation of National Estuaries Week, supports the goals and ideals of National Estuary Week. 3, acknowledges the importance of estuaries to sustaining employment in the United States and economic well-being and prosperity of the United States, recognizes the persistent threats that undermine the health of estuaries. 5, applauds the work of national and community organizations and public partners that promote public awareness, understanding, protection, and restoration of estuaries. 6, supports the scientific study, preservation, protection, and restoration of estuaries. And finally, expresses the intent of the House to continue to work to understand, protect, and restore the estuaries of the United States. This Estuary Week is September 19th through September 26th. And it just says that, in addition, one more thing, that whereas estuary regions cover only 13% of the land area in the continental United States, but they contain nearly 43% of the population and 40% of the jobs and nearly 50% of the economic output of the United States. So I think that's very impressive. And then I forgot to mention that for the governance task force that I'm on, we met, I think for the final time this morning, and kind of put the A, B, and C's together, and Don is going to send that on back to Mike and Terry. And then, of course, all of these, when we get done with all of our different task force, they'll be coming back in front of us again. But I found it very beneficial, and I really wanted to thank the staff that were there in the meeting. It was, I just thought it was wonderful hearing their viewpoints, and it was a fun exercise. And I appreciate Don, all the work that you did on that, bringing that together. So thank you. And I'll in my report and go to Don, and also let you know that while we don't have any business items, we will have an executive session today. So I'll take it away, County Manager, please.
Thank you, Chair Sullivan, members of the board. I just wanted to make note that Sheriff Matt Phillips and our emergency manager, Tiffany Brown, spent time down in Lincoln County at their request, helping them with their fire response. And both of them felt that their time there was very useful. They felt that they were productive. And I just think it really shows the esprit de corps and the camaraderie that is taking place between counties when this happens. Really, when emergencies happen, we don't recognize boundaries. We share resources, we share expertise, and I think we're all proud that we do that. So I just wanted to recognize both of them, because when you're away, you are away from your family, you're away, you know, from everything else. And so it is a sacrifice, but it's one that they make with a lot of energy. The other is that, as was noted, we're moving forward with the strategic plan. Between now and the first week of October, it's very hectic with all the meetings that are being scheduled. But I just want to say thanks to all the public that has been involved and the staff, and I want to thank the leadership of the board. You know, I've been very impressed with the board, well, since the whole time that I've been here, but through the strategic planning process also. And I thank you for that, because I believe the strategic planning process is going to be foundational for how we move forward. So it's all really great work. I did want to mention that COVID is amongst us, as Dr. Mike mentioned earlier. The most recent news, and this could change, but I think we have another 11 cases that we'll be talking about tomorrow. You know, it's not trending in the way. There was a lot of testing going on today with one of the seafood processors, and some of these came out of those tests. So, and then if okay, I'm going to turn over to Monica real quick so she can give a brief update on the census activities that she's been working on.
Thanks, Tom. So you all should have received, we did send out a countywide postcard just to try and encourage everybody to participate in the census. It is vital for our community. To date, we have a total county response of 55.4%, which we would still like to see improved, but it is better than our 2010 response, which was only 52.7. Just to give you an idea of where some of those numbers are coming from, in Astoria and Warrenton, they are both above 60%. However, in Gearhart, they're at 37%, Seaside's 47%, and Cannon Beach is 17%. I did talk to our representative to kind of get a little bit more information in regards to where they're getting those percentage numbers from, because in all three of those communities there are a significant number of second homes, and he did say that these are they're taking into consideration family dwellings and apartment complexes. And so until an enumerator is able to go there to confirm, or else the individual themselves self-reports that that is not their location of their home, they're considering all of those homes that the census was mailed to as part of this count. So obviously, like I said, since those numbers, or since those cities all have a significant number of second homes, it's showing the numbers lower than what they may actually be. And then just also, it had been postponed. It was supposed to happen, I think, back in April, but enumerators are out this evening. They'll be out counting the unsheltered population through the evening and into the early morning. They are working, law enforcement in all of the cities have been notified that these people are all trained to work with these individuals, and so they are all out there this evening trying to get a count for the unsheltered population as well. So just wanted to share that with you. If you do talk to people, encourage them again to complete the census, because as we all know, it's vital for many different things, as well as representing us in DC among the federal funding that we receive. So thank you.
Thank you, Monica. I know this has been a long process that you've been working on this, and appreciate all the work that you've put into that. Okay, so on my script, it says that I go down all the way to the adjournment and then do the executive session, but shouldn't it be in the executive session and then come back and adjourn? Joanna?
I actually think it's part of preference. I've typically seen adjourn to an executive session as the language that I've seen used, but I'm not sure custom here in Clatsop County.
Okay, well, we can do it that way. So is there any good of the order? Okay, Commissioner Thompson?
High winds, sneaker waves, watch out.
Thank you. Okay, any other good of the order? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna adjourn the Board of Commissioner meeting, and then we're gonna go into an executive session. And after I adjourn, I'm gonna ask everyone who's on the call to get off the call, and the press would also get off the call, and then the press would call back in and identify themselves. So just want to give you a heads up on that, and we will adjourn this meeting now. Thank you.